What are some objections that you typically see out there in the world?
So I also think reframing the mindset around an objection is important because an objection is a buying signal, and it proves they are actually interested in your product in the first place.
Yeah,
So going into that conversation with the mindset of welcoming objections, which
totally.
is probably easier said than done, but it is quite important to try and shift that mindset first.
So this old chestnut, it's too expensive.
It's too expensive. I'm sure we've all heard that, right? And I'm sure nobody wants to be the cheapest in the market because there's value there and you want to highlight value. So
Mhm.
again, this comes back to the questions you've asked your clients, like, do you know customer life cycle, customer average order value, what a customer lifetime value is to that client?
Yep.
Being able to work backwards and give tangible results that your product will help achieve over a certain timeline.
Yep.
So it's not expensive, it's the value that products provides.
When we go into this, say with prospective clients, on big ticket purchases, we will get a prospect that comes through. They might have like an average sale value of, I don't know, 40, 50K or something like that. And there'll be some good margin in there. But then like the mindset they're going into with that is, I only want to spend a couple of $1,000 on a solution or whatever. And it's like, if you can demonstrate to say, well, what would your life look like with, three or four of these are showing up in your lap a month? Like, would that be of value? And then it sort of makes it very, it makes it a very black and white, logical pitch in terms of
Yeah.
return on investment there.
If you want the best outcome, you need to invest in the best ingredients.
Usually there's something in there potentially around timing. Now isn't the right time.
Yes. Now isn't the right time. That usually isn't the why of the objection. That is a cover for something deeper, I'd
Mhm.
say. So again, just get back into your questioning and really dig into the why. Like, what is the actual objection there?
Yep.
And I think particularly in our industry, things can change so quickly in the digital landscape that there is always a cost of waiting. Um, what are your competitors doing in that time where you're not
Yeah.
taking action? That could set you a year behind where you need to be. So I
Yep.
feel really highlighting the cost of waiting is huge.
Yep. That opportunity cost there. And
Mhm.
there's ways around that as well, where us as a service provider can exercise flexibility and say, well, how can we like break this up into smaller chunks? How can we like try and cash flow this for you? Because at the end of the day, if we do what we say we're going to do, these are the outcomes that you can expect, and you'll be able to ride the uptick of those activities. Not sure if this is right for me.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, you have not come to the very end of a process and they turn around and say this. This should have been highlighted hopefully within the first or second call with your
Sure.
customer. But here is where you can really leverage marketing collateral. And this is where marketing and sales really have to have a very close relationship in terms of proof of concept. So testimonials, case studies, if you're as great as you say you are, I'm sure you'd have clients who would be willing to have a referral call with one of your other clients as well. So I've had clients in the past who've spoken who are unsure if we're the right person. And we're like, speak to this other really
Yeah.
happy customer on the phone. Their voice of customer, there's nothing better than that as a testimonial for your business. Then trial periods or other assurances to reduce the perceived risk. Like most service-based industries, you can't really offer a money back guarantee because you've provided a service, right?
Mm.
But there are flexible and creative ways you can get around this to help provide risk assurance to your clients.
Yeah. So in our instance, maybe they're performance milestones,
Mhm.
something along those lines where we know based on the research we've done, a whole bunch of other case studies, whatever, we can get specific results over a period of time. So yeah, it's ultimately just reduce as much of that risk as you can for the client so that
Mhm.
it's a no-brainer. I need to check with my partner, boss slash wife slash husband slash whoever, significant other in their lives.
Who holds the purse strings?
Yes.
Yes. So ideally at the start, very start of the process, you'll understand the decision-making process and you'll understand who has the power to sign off on your specific proposal. And ideally, you'd be either speaking to them directly. There's a strategy called multi-threading, which I mention here, which I really like to try
Mm,
and do, have a few multiple points of contact within an organization. Someone might leave, someone might go on leave for a long time, things like that. So you always need to have that backup plan, but also you need to find your cheerleader. If you can't speak to
mm.
the decision maker themselves, then who is your cheerleader within that organization who can help wave the flag for you, but
Yep.
also, and then you can also work with them to empower them with all the information tool they need to sell that internally. So can you actually create a deck together that that person, even though you're not in the room, can then pitch to their boss or things like that? How can you work with your cheerleader to get this over the line?
Yeah. And it's almost like camping out in the cheerleader's mind as well, because, ultimately they're putting their reputation on the line internally within their organization,
Yeah.
and they don't want this to spectacularly blow up. So,
Yes.
it's like, how can you support them and even just like elevate them as a hero? Imagine them being able to implement a solution that doubles the amount of business coming through the door or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool.
definitely. It goes back to that personal value. And is the personal value helping that person look really good to their boss?